Look who is here.
Hello.
I'm so excited. So today we wanted to do something a little bit different. Last time we did the BFF tag, and then we did an outfits one, and now
we're gonna talk about relationships.
But we don't just want to talk about relationships and just be like all willy-nilly about it. We kind of have a topic in mind that I think everyone at some point has kind of been through.
I feel like everyone can relate.
It's friends with benefits. So first we want to define what friends with benefits means. So friends with benefits to me is your friends and you don't really have any feelings towards each other because you're friends. And then out of nowhere, you know, you have one too many, or you're in the right lighting and he's like, is that an angel? And then they're like,
things change in the relationship.
Yeah, you start feeling a little like, I'm attracted to you, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But you're not in the, I'm attracted to you, I'm trying to date you. It's more like,
could this be something?
Are you trying to do what I'm trying to do? Are you?
Are you feeling the same thing that I'm feeling?
All right, before we get started, we want to say that we are not experts at all. Everything we say is based off our own experiences and of course our friends who have told us throughout the years and everything we've seen on social media. And so we kind of just want to relay those messages and kind of
just have a discussion about it.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we don't have an agenda for this. It's just like, we're just not experts. All right, so let's get started.
So we're gonna start off with, when should you define the relationship? So let's say, you know, you're in this friends with benefits thing and you're having fun, it's having a good time, and then you're like, oh, got some feelings. When is a good time to have the talk? Especially since you started off with being friends with benefits and now you're gonna go into like, you wanna talk about a relationship.
All right, so for me, I feel like you should define the relationship with a certain amount of time that has passed. Basically, if you've been friends with benefits for like a month, maybe hold off, yeah? Like, you know.
Oh yeah, maybe don't jump to conclusions in 1 month. And you also have to think about it. We're grown-ups now, so think about it in a month. How many times did you see them? Let's say you saw them 3 times because you know we're busy individuals. So you're ready to jump into a relationship off 3 days?
So you think you're ready to jump into a relationship after 3 times of seeing them?
You know, hold your horses there. I feel like a lot of people want that, oh, we were friends in the beginning and now we're in a relationship. It's like, but you don't want to be friends. You're jumping to conclusions after month 1. So take it easy, be friends, see how it goes. Plus, the more you see them, the more you kind of get to see like their little habits and how they are. And you know, you get to determine if that's something you want to move forward with.
You probably shouldn't ask to define the relationship if you feel somewhere in your gut like they're gonna be like, nah, I'm not trying to be with you right now.
Yeah, I think there's no formula as to when, like, oh, after 10 days, after 10 dates or whatever. Like, I think you brought up a good point. How we're feeling, you're kind of getting the same vibe as you, like things have suddenly shifted. And I'm like, maybe this, you know, this other person is having similar feelings to me, then it's a good time to bring up, you know, give it a time. If maybe like after 5 dates, like, again, I don't want to give you a number, but I mean, don't go asking for a relationship after 3 dates. So, you know, give it some time, but you know, not after a year. And I feel like men and women have, and I don't want to stereotype by gender, but just based on my experiences, I feel like they have different timelines. Like, I think for women, we're always like, we're planning. We don't mean to, but we're like, is this going anywhere? Like, you go on one date and you're like, is this going anywhere? Am I gonna marry him? Am I gonna have kids? Like, you're seeing your whole future and thought, take it easy. The guy's really just thinking like, you know, what do I feel about this girl? What are we having for lunch? What is she gonna eat? And you're flipping out about your marriage and whether you're gonna wear a white dress or you're gonna go with ivory.
Or are you gonna be your bridesmaid? You just stopped talking to Stephanie. What are you gonna do? I feel like nowadays, people romanticize the idea of a relationship. And don't get me wrong, I think that relationships can be very romantic. I mean, they're supposed to be. But what I mean by romanticize is people think it's gonna be love at first sight. Yeah. And then you're gonna fall in love and be together forever. That's not how it works.
Yeah, so I think just taking it easy and knowing, you'll know deep down in your heart when it's the right moment. Which leads us into the next segment, and it's, when should you walk away? When is it too much of friends with benefits? Especially when you care about someone, like, when is a good time to walk away from all that? Because this is clearly, you voiced to how you're feeling and they're just not on the same page. I feel like it sounds tough just because everyone's different, but I think if you've already voiced that you want something more and the other person's not there yet, I think you have to leave, because they're not gonna give you what you want, and you're hurting yourself staying in a relationship like that. Because one, you know, you could be in the market looking for fish, but you're stuck on this one Nemo, and Nemo doesn't want you. You should walk away.
Yeah.
If someone's not treating you well, it's like one thing if the person's treating you well and it is telling you, hey, like, I'm not ready yet, but I like where this is going, and you know, I'm only dating you. That's something completely different to someone who's like hooking up with all kinds of people and it's putting you on hold. At that point, I don't think that's very healthy.
So then when should you walk away? When you want to. But just make sure that when you walk away, you're not gonna cave when they just like, what are you doing? You up?
I miss you.
Don't cave. If you wanna leave, leave. If it feels bad, leave. Don't go back. And just know that if at any point you do wanna go back, like, it's okay. But just kind of know what you're getting yourself into, you know? Just because they text you, I miss you, doesn't mean like, I miss you, I'm ready to be in a relationship with you. It's more like, I miss what we had, kind of wish we still had that. You kind of have to realize that and not just be like, see, they do like me. Yeah, but not enough to date you. Man, I feel really personally attacked by all this. All right, so you kind of talked a little bit about how there's a difference between them just wanting to be with you in terms of friends with benefits, but then there's also the people that are friends with benefits with you, but have hella friends with benefits. So when is it okay to get mad that they have a bunch of other people? Can you get mad? Is that your right?
Technically, you're friends with benefits and you're not in a relationship, so you're not really allowed to get mad. Yeah. And I guess that's when you start off, it's a good thing, and a lot of people don't do this, to establish some ground rules.
Boom, expectations right off the bat. But people don't do this. I think it's because most of the friends with benefits situations happen like spontaneously.
Yeah, you don't plan for it.
You don't plan for it.
And also, when you get mad, realize why you got mad. And at that point, you're already not doing friends with benefits because you're upset. Why are you mad if you were starting off this? That means you've already developed feelings, and at that point, if you're upset, you're far in too deep.
You have cracked the code, Jen. Yes, if you are upset, you need to check yourself. Yeah. You need to check yourself. And if you're like,
I'm shook right now. I just can't do it. If you're mad about something, that kind of might mean that you have feelings for the person, because that wasn't part of the friends with benefits rules.
Don't be afraid to catch feels. How do you tell this person who seems to be having a grand old time with you, and you're having a grand old time, and you know that the way you do it can either break it, or it could be the start of something great?
I had an experience where I wasn't sure if I wanted to ask because we didn't know where we stood, which is due to miscommunication. I just started asking questions and probing, like, after a couple months, of course, because I realized that I had developed feelings. And
after a couple months? Why you keep jabbing at me? After a couple months?
It's because I had this idea that when you're friends with benefits, like, you can't get mad, you gotta be chill, and like, I didn't expect myself to catch them feelings. But I did. How do I bring it up? Does he feel the same way? I don't know. And so I kind of was like, oh, like, you know, where do you see this going? And I had to bring it up. It was awkward. It's not fun because you have the fear of getting rejected. In my case, it didn't work out so well because that person didn't want to move forward, and I felt like he liked me, and I'm sure he did, but he just wasn't ready to commit yet. So
you say yet? Did they ever commit?
They did, but that's another story. But they weren't ready at the time. So
what did you do?
So I walked away. That's one of the things when you bring up the talk, that it could go south. But I think you need to learn how to walk away, because if you're already in too deep and that person's not going to give you what they want, you have to. It's hard. It's so hard. I was so sad.
I've had successful friends with benefits because I didn't catch feels.
Yeah, she did it.
So I've never truly been friends with someone and then we develop a friendship, a really strong friendship, and then we start doing friends with benefits, and then we decide, oh my goodness, this works really well, let's be together. That's never happened.
And so here's the fun fact for all of us heartbroken individuals that fell for the person and they said no. Why didn't you feel that way?
I didn't feel that way for them because, for me, I can only speak for me, I know when I know. And so if I meet you and right off the bat we're just friends, we're never dating. Just to like put this out there, it wasn't anything about the person in particular. It was me. I know who I vibe with in terms of being in a relationship, and that wasn't it. It's not like, oh, I didn't like that they were this. No, it's like they're great. That's why we were friends to begin with, because they're great. But it's just like, I know that for me, I'm looking for a very specific thing and that wasn't it. I think a lot of people always feel like they were just leading me on, that kind of situation, but it wasn't really like that. It was, if you come to an agreement that you're friends with benefits, you can't forget the friend part of it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are like, look at the benefits. How can you not want to be with me forever? And it's like, because we're friends. And that's what we decided. And again, because there's been success stories, it doesn't mean that it can't evolve to something, which is the whole like point of this video. But it's just like, for some people, it's just not gonna work out that way.
At least the person that I was dating, what I noticed in that person was that it's not that they didn't like me, they just weren't ready to give up this, oh, I want to date around and see people. And even though that person wasn't dating around, they just felt like their freedom was gone, and that's just like the history that this person had of dating different people.
I think he wasn't attacking me again.
I think they just weren't ready to leave their, like, I guess their player ways or their freedom. They just weren't ready to be in a relationship.
But sometimes it's not even about like the player ways of like dating a bunch of people. I think a lot of people see relationships as a job and a responsibility. Oh, now you have to text you all the time. Oh no, now you have to talk to the person you like all the time. Oh, okay, like I don't understand that. That's just, look, this is me ranting and me venting a little bit. I don't understand people that think of a relationship as a responsibility in that way. It is a responsibility, but it's not like a drag, a bunch of tasks that you have to get through.
She brings up a good point. If you feel like the relationship is a responsibility, that means that that person doesn't possess the qualities that you are looking for.
The whole point of this is that everything is supposed to be molded to you. There's only one of you and one of them. So when you come together, you form something completely new. But just kind of take what we're saying with a grain of salt for sure, but just know that the general consensus is if you don't feel good in that friends with benefits arrangement anymore, it's time to
It's time to go, yeah.
Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up.
Yes.
And before you go, please let us know what you think.
We know each relationship is different and obviously, you know, different scenarios, but we just wanted to kind of summarize something that all of them can possibly have in common. I feel like it can apply to everybody.
Yeah, and if you've had a very, very different experience, please let us know about it. Comment down below, or
you could be like my friend and not even say it's you. Throw it on your friend.
Yeah, it's always a friend.
Yeah.
So my friend.
Asking for a friend.
So just let us know what you think, and we'll be putting more content out like this. Again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.
Yes. Bye.